Alright, let's get this stream going, get this story read, get my vocal cords properly destroyed for the weekend. Make the tweets. So, slight chance I might crash today because for some reason, even though I am playing a text-based game, my computer is lagging. So, might not be good. We'll see. Turn down the bugs just a bit. Okay, yeah, so there is no continue from it, so we... Oh! Well, that's quite intimidating sound to start with. Otangashi, the most possibilities. How was your taste of life in Hiragana? A curse or conspiracy? I believe you have fully enjoyed everything and everyone seeming suspicious here at last. It is no surprise attack, but a real direct incident. Please enjoy. The difficulty is lower than Onikaka, but is extremely vicious. Difficulty? The fuck? Why are the babies giggling in my ear? I will not quench your thirst, for you seek the truth and could not accept that. I will not quench your thirst, for the truth you desire does not exist, but I still want to quench your thirst, for I am the one who cast you into the desert. Frederick Brensko. This is a work of fiction. Any reasonable to actual persons, organizations, entirely coincidental. 1983 AD. Early summer of the 58th year of Showa era. 58? Holy hell, we're going back a ways. The chirping birds served as my alarm clock in the year 1958. Huh? Wasn't today Sunday, the Sabbath day? Wasn't it basically my style to stay up late on Saturdays and sleep through the morning on Sunday? Why was I waking up in this disgustingly wholesome hour? Oh, this hour, it do be so wholesome. Back to sleep? Back to sleep. Ugh. Some people. Kitchen, are you okay, I gotta get his name right. Kiichi. Kiichi. Catchy? Kiichi. You awake? You have a phone call. At that moment, sound of my mother calling me from downstairs finally registered. Phone call? I sprang up out of bed abruptly and stammered noisily down the stairs. He's awake. I'll put him on right now. My mother informed the person on the other end of the line. Hello? It's a me. Who might this be? And they have their own theme music. Ha ha ha. Oh. Morning, Kichan-kun. You're such a sleepyhead. Such a sleepyhead. Oh, Rina. What's up? Calling so early in the morning? I don't think it's so early. It's the middle of the day, you know. It was 11 o'clock, so technically not. I guess you could loosely consider that see? Me and Kichan, we're on the same page. So what's up? Now, let me turn... Where's the stupid volume button on my headset? Wrong way. There you go. Hold on a second, I'll put Michan on now. Oyaru, Kichan-kun. Ohayo? I guess that is how you actually spell it in Japanese. Ohayo. Ohayo, Kichan-kun? Why is that in Japanese still? Kichan-kun, if I were to say it in English, that'd be good morning. Well, you already speak in English. Well, we're at it. Why don't you try saying it in Chinese, German, and Russian as well? Ni hao, Kichan. Guten Morgen, Kichan-kun. Russian? Das Vidanya. How the heck should I know? Dos Vidanya. Don't get any on ya. Haha, well, whatever. This stupid conversation has woken me up. Ha ha ha. That is good to hear, comrade. So, Kichan-kun, you will fare right now. Did I just do merely just Russian accent this whole time? If you're good, then we've got everybody. Everybody? Did she mean all the club members? That is right, comrade. You might be thinking, every day always ends in heated competition. Soviet versus capitalists. But at least I can spend my day off peacefully in coal mine. You're too naive, comrade Kichan. Yeah. The aim of our club is to find the peace solution for every situation. In other words, we don't care if it's the weekend. It looks like Kichan has come to understand our club. So, how about it? Can you come? Oh, well, can I? I had absolutely nothing planned that day except sleep. If I were to refuse the club president Myun's invitation, what other fun ways to pass the time would I have? Look, I planned on doing anything, and if I said no, you'd probably just declare me the loser by default and force a penalty game on me anyways. If you understand that much, then you can't refuse, right? If you are okay with it, then meet at the usual place at 1 o'clock, Soviet time. We're going into town to bring your bike, okay? Okie dokie. Club activities in town. Neat. I like be walking my head to the beat. Well, we could do them anywhere. Besides, since it was a new venue, there was no way that this wasn't going to be interesting. Intense. I'm holding a pretty big grudge from last narrow loss a couple days ago. I'll say it right now, I am not going to lose. A couple of days ago was Friday's club activities. That uncompromising poker match. The poker match of 58. It was a fight to the death. Nobody held back. Nobody could tell who was in the lead or who was last until all points were tallied. In the end, I won by only 1 chip. Myun was in second. Darn it, to think if it hadn't squandered that 1 chip. Myun lamented, thus perhaps more so, there was more than fact she lost the match. Myun doesn't lose. That's why Myun only whined when she let the champion throne slip through her fingers. That's why she was more frustrated than anybody over a close loss. So did she mean for today to be a grudge match? Bring it on. Just like the last time, I'll shut you down and make you play that penalty game. Make sure you play it in a way that you won't regret when you lose. Ha 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 ha. Wouldn't have it any other way. I'll make it all the way better when I crush you beneath my Soviet-sold boots. After that exchange, we exchanged cheers for a bit before hanging up the phone. As I headed back upstairs hastily to get the key to my bike, I bumped into my mother as she was carrying a futon down. Oh, Kichan-kun, you seem like you're in a good mood heading out. Yeah, something like that. I'm going into town to play with everybody. Take care, watch out for traffic. Be back before dinner, don't get stabbed or killed again. Yeah, I'll be back by then. Shoot, Mom, I ain't no little whippersnapper no more. I know these countries like the back of my hand. That's a new bump. After unlocking the chain for my bike in the garage, I revealed who chains their bike in a garage. I reveal a bit in the resistance the slightly stiff pedal gave as I pushed on it. Alright, let's go. I saw my turning through the refreshing morning air. Kichan-kun. You're late. Sorry to keep you waiting. Where are Satoku and Rika-chan? Rather than meet up with them here, it is quicker to just meet up in town. I see. If I remember correctly, Satoku and Rika-chan's houses were the other side past the school. Oh yeah, what's up with doing the club activities in town? It can't be that everybody's going to put on masks and rob banks all day, is it? I wouldn't mind doing that. Dethrone the 1% and give wealth to the working class, no? I wouldn't mind doing that. Even then, I wouldn't lose to you. You see, Michan's always tells me the routes and schedules of the armored bank cars. I wonder why. What? We're actually robbing a bank. I'm all for this. Let's go. I spun around with a serious look on my face and looked at Myun. Well, it certainly seemed possible that Myun was capable of doing that. Seriously, Myun? Rina? Oh, Rina, you traitors! You betrayed the greater good! What are you saying? Come, you are no longer comrade. Sorry, Michan, sorry. One day I'll learn how to do a girl voice. One day. The two of them joked around. That bright laughter was the best match for a beautiful day like today. Hey, you two, Satoku and Rika-chan are waiting for us, aren't they? Let's stop fooling around and get going. Let's skedaddle. around and fooling around in the time of fluttering butterflies. I earnestly wished I could just keep watching them like this, like a creep does. But the 5 of us together would be absolutely more fun. That's right, well, let's go! The goal is to plunder 1 billion. Once we split the loot, everyone scrams. Yeah! Robbery! I can get behind that. The 3 of us on our bikes headed over the gentle sloping hills. Down, towards down. Accelerating hard, we crested the hill. The view expanded as Okinawa Station. Okinomiya Station came into sight. I occasionally came to the station here. Considering the amount of effort it takes to get here though, it was quite a hassle. That's why I don't know much about the area around the station. Okinomiya. That's all for that matter. The streets we were headed down today was the course unfamiliar to me as well. Going through the railway crossing, we headed past the south end of the station. This is the first time I've been this way. Around here, there's a lot of things like arcades and toy stores. Micha knows a lot about it. There's an arcade. I used to go to one pretty often. My gamer blood boils within me. Always going to an arcade, Kicha. Why can't I do Russian anymore? I lost my Russian. I guess I'll have to switch her back. Did I make her British last time? I think I made her British last time. Always going back to an arcade, Kichan-kun. Okay, I always go like old-timey British. Oi, what's all this? I can't do voices right now. I'm still too tired. Kichan, you're quite the delinquent. Next time we are here, I'll show you where it is. It's a good one. There's quite a few machines. Seems like the town of Okinomiya was Myun's stomping ground. If I asked her, she could tell me a lot of things about it. Eventually, we came across a store with quite a few bikes parked in front of it. Suka Bruka. Was this the arcade? No, it was a smaller shop. A trap. Looking at the window display, it seemed like your everyday toy shop, but for almost 10 kids to be filling in out of the store, they were doing almost too well for themselves. Ah. Must be doing something highly illegal. Let's go join them. Could it be the store is having some sort of event today? Exactly. Top prize is 50,000 yen. Isn't that $500 US? 50,000? What the heck is that? That's the GNP of the People's Republic of Kichan's 5 times over! The 2 cute figures messing about the front of the store noticed us and waved their hands. Hello everyone! We've been waiting for you. Good morning. Hey, morning Rika-chan. Tsuruka, we'll settle this before the cops get here. Goal is to plunder 1 billion. What? Kichan-san? I have no idea what you're talking about. Remember, I always made her a demonic person, so we're gonna stick with that. Are we late? Did you keep the 2 waiting? We finished early today, so we've been waiting a while. It was quite rude of you. Never let that happen again. I'm sorry about that. Kichan here was taking his sweet time. Well, if it was Kichan's fault, it couldn't be helped. Hey now. Saying that, Rika-chan stretched up and began patting Mirren's head. Hey, wait a minute. Are you solving everything by making me the bad guy? Of course we are. Of course. Who else but Kichan could fill this important role? I don't like being cast like that. If you think that this'll solve everything, you're sorely mistaken. I was feeling slightly irritated, so I began to repeatedly smack Satoko on the head. Smack, 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 smack. If you're any caught up on the current Vtuber trends on Twitter, smacking for $500 is clearly acceptable. So, cracks and knuckles. Receive 500. Oh, what was the quote? 10,000 hits per second. Kichan is bullying me! Wog! Wog! There we go. Good proper orc. It's just a shame that Kichan is bullying you. Zuko's crying. She's cute. I'm taking her home. Your big sis here will take care of you, bad guy, okay? Wait, what? Oh! Wow. And I was dead. There on the spot. Head splattered like a watermelon in an anime on a beach episode. Rina escalatedly wiped the tears, which were probably fake, from Zuko's face while Rika-chan gently patted mine as I lay sprawled on the ground, my life leaving me. Yes, this is fine. Yep. This is the way things are supposed to be solved. Through brute force and violence. And blaming others, scapegoating to be precise. Well, I think we should find a new punchline before you start losing teeth. Well then, upsy daisy. In any case, the greeting for today went well. You only have one black eye so far. That's less than last time. Inside the toy shop, there were about 10 boys around the same age as me. Apparently, they all knew Mion, and finding out that she had arrived, they greeted her with jeers as few at a time. Michun is a regular at this toy shop, so she has lots of friends. Friends who take up my time, friends who must be disposed of. Blech. A regular toy shop. What's up with that? Hey, Kichan, take a look back here. D&D. Following Circle was prompted, I took a look where chairs lined up tables and almost like some sort of birthday party. I realized immediately, it couldn't be this venue for today's club activities? Surprise, Kichan, I'm good friends with the owner here. He sometimes let me hold game tournaments to expand his customer base. Expand his customer base, I see. Capitalist. Meaning all the boys living up the place were participants? That's right. We're gonna demolish them. It's just us 5, but today we're gonna play with lots and lots of people. Rina was innocently happy about being able to play with so many people, but my expression grew noticeably stern. Kichan-san, I know exactly what you're thinking. Oh? Well then, why don't you try saying it? Together, okay? 1, 2... These are all enemies! Satoko's voice and mine blended together in harmony. We looked over the participants. After all, the top prize was 50,000 yen. How would you like to be like one of these guys in these kind of games? Just someone just snags a picture, and you're just right there. Also, he's wearing a Puma shirt. See, we got a Robo guy, a cat, Fox Girl, One Piece. Anything else I can recognize? Quite blurry. Where them Yu-Gi-Oh cards, eh? After all the top prize was 50,000, my eyes lit up like flames. Hey, Kichan. It looks like today will be fun. Well, no matter how many more rivals I have, the goal is still the same. Your defeat. Rivals? Kichan, do you think a whale keeps track of all the quills it eats? She said that in an unpleasant voice, laughing with the aggressive glint in her eyes, resolved solely for club activities. Darn it, Mion. She's as serious as she can get today. I'm not the only one who's serious. Take a look at Rika-chan. Mion pointed, looking at where her finger directed me. What the heck is that? Rika-chan was using those kinds of traits to soften up the groups with almost an excessive pleasantness. I'm also going to do my best. Go for it, yay! Go for it, yay! Completely emasculated, the group joined Rika-chan in a cheer. Simps! She's utilizing her simps! This is unfair. Where are my simps? The inside of the store had been consumed by the world of Rika-chan. Go on, she's already chomping at the bait. Epic battle music. It seems like today's going to be fun. I'm going to do my best. Kyu! It seems like Rina was also unusually fired up by the large crowd. Hopping about and running around, she had entered entirely into cute mode. In Rina's case, the real fun starts when her tension gauge fills up. Her happy-go-lucky attitude belied the fact that this was the state in which she was the most threatening. Myun was making small talk with some regular customers who was acquainted with, and it was like a business as usual for her. Oh gosh, my vision's going black. Of course, if anyone thought that Myun looked ordinary, they were not qualified to be in our club. Shing! As I push out my glasses. Killer instinct rising up. Okay, the shadow beneath her feet was exuding killer instinct, rising up like a chill wind. Darn it, Myun, throwing away her honor and humanity like that. She's serious? Ki-chan-san, didn't you know? The 50,000 yen prize is from Myun-san's own pockets. Pockets says. What? Nonde? She was putting up the 50,000 yen all by herself? That moment, a dark miasma that warped Myun's surrounding began to appear. What is it, Ki-chan? Is there something on my face? A shiver crept up my spine, like someone playing a xylophone for bones, just... That Myun cornered herself like that. She was pulling out a demon lurking within her. Fine with me. Darn it, my knees are shaking like crazy. Hold it together, man. You have a lot more crap to get through than this card game. I realized that the store had filled up with even more people. However, the looks in their eyes weren't confrontational. They were looks of expectation and curiosity. They were the eyes of the onlookers who were wondering what kind of match was going to occur and who was going to win. You couldn't ask for a better stage than this. This is getting interesting. So desu ka. Ki-chan-kun? Well, let's do our best, okay? Do our best. I'm sorry, just like, you guys seem like the meme where it's just like, it's like a cat, picture of like a cat girl, like an anime cat girl. It goes, yeah, and then there's a caption, throws up on couch. Reno's already fully charged, just like an actual cat. Mortal laws and common sense held no power before the might of Rena in her cute mode. I definitely didn't want to fight her if possible. Bumpa. Rika-chan, do your best. We're all cheering you on. Okay, I'll do my best. Dude, why do I hear boss music in Latin just start? Grade 1. Rika-chan, who was exuding way too much charm no matter how you looked at it, already won over the most onlookers to her side. Nonchalantly avoiding things had always been Rika-chan's creed. But for her to be blatantly laying out her machinations like this, something was definitely strange. Like Rena, she was somebody who I didn't want to fight if I could help it. Of course, the one you don't want to fight the most is Myun-san. I've been lucky to even leave alive more than a few times at the end of club activities, but I don't think there was a day that even came close to being this dangerous. Wait, who's talking about? Myun seems to have developed quite the grudge after losing that poker match a few days ago. Back, you know? It seems that way. In other words, today is just an elaborate stage for her revenge. Revenge! Almost as though we were psychic. She was psychic. Myun turned towards us with like a grinding, like... Duel me, Yugi! Her eye suddenly conveyed the message. You guys figured that out now? It wasn't just Myun. Both Rina and Rika-chan were more pumped up than they'd ever been. Yeah, one's gonna pop up today. Without a doubt, there'll be casualties. It seems that somehow Kisha-kun and I are the only ones left. What do you think? Should we not have our match during the opening round? Might as well. I need to warm up before I can really kick into gear. My spinal column shuddered like it had been struck by a bolt of lightning. It was like a pillar of ice was being jammed into it, like being freeze. It began to freeze. I could almost see the flames backlighting Satoko with their intensity. Even then, while Satoko was displaying a normal smile, it was cold and inhumane, almost as if it was a plastic mask. Slap the child. You must really want to eliminate me in the opening round. You can't hide the murderous intent. Oh, that's too bad. You're being uncharacteristically cautious today, Kichan-san. Ho, ho, ho. Without a doubt, it was a trap. She's a trap, I should have known. I don't know what she had up her sleeves, or in those pants, if she truly is a pants trap. Her sleeves, but if I fought with Satoko during the opening round, my loss would be more certain than if I went against Mion. Don't know why I changed accent all of a sudden. But, you know, these things just kind of happen. I get forward in the chat. Gotta keep it entertaining going. Pitch black miasma permeated the sides of the store. Did they all want to win 50,000 yen? The prize that much? No, that's not right. The only ones competing for the prize money were the casual participants. I was different. I was mistaken. This is just as a way to fool around on a normal Sunday. But for 50,000 yen on the table, though, it didn't matter when it was, or where it was, or who was our opponent were. In our club activity, the goal was always very top of the mountain. Intense flame that no strong wind could extinguish, not enough to melt any steel, began to burn inside me. The fuse had been lit on this unprecedented, intense club battle. It was then that the owner of the store, Mion, in a lackadaisical voice, that it was about time to begin. Is everyone ready today? Is everybody ready? Listen close now. Mion began with a formality, standing in front of the owner, explaining the rules of today's tournament. You're only playing to win. There is no second or third place. That's the same rule as our club. There were 15 people participating. We were to split up to 5 groups via a draw, and each group would have one winner. What do I get for being up till like 1:30, D'ing and D'ing? Each winner in the first stage would advance to the next order in order to compete in the final. Now, as for how each group will compete, each table can decide to play whatever they want. As long as the game is here in the shop, anything goes. Already in club mode, Defcon 1, I didn't let the small gap in the rules go unnoticed. Mion, can I ask a question? Won't everybody push to play a game they're good at, and not be able to agree on which one? That's right! If we can't decide, we can't start. The spectators also nodded along. Yes. It was only natural. There wasn't anybody who would simply cede to their opponent's suggestion. I'd prefer if you were all good sports and managed to come up to a decision on your own, but if it comes to a stalemate, should we have the store owner decide for you? It was an event at a toy store after all. You'd expect the owner to referee. I hope he has a whistle too. After that, Mion's rundown continued. It ended with the rule that any losing participant would have to buy the game they lose at. A rather nice proposition for the store. That's pretty smart. I choose to play Warhammer 40k. I'll drown them out. No, I'll drain their pockets. This apothecary, $43. I know, because I literally Googled one today. For one unit, $43. First we used to draw to split into 5 groups. Everybody lined up a single file and began to draw tickets. The owner had prepared. It was my turn. Alright, time to draw. Who's texting me? Let's see. Alright, time to draw. No matter who I mess up, I will crush him. I'm apologizing in advance to my future team. Can invite, perhaps make a channel with an invite link. Okay. So that's planning for the Valorant collab. I crush him. At that moment, Mion began to laugh with a hawkish gleam in her eye. Of course, I'm sure you already know, but club members will have a separate penalty game than the casual participants. Huh. I thought as much. I've seen too many of these to be phased at this point in my life. What's the gist of it? The winner gets to give the loser one order each. Contrary to how simple it sounded, it was terrifying, eventually the subject of which no one could predict. Darn you, Myun. Was she really planning to parade me around Hirozama in cat ears and a banana hammock with a tail attached or something? I'd go out like a man. The look on Myun's face told me she wasn't going to let me off that easy. On top of that, this time, it wasn't just the people who finished last who'd have to submit to the penalty game. The losers get one order each. In other words, even if you don't finish last, you still have to do a penalty game. I leave you alone for 1 freaking minute and you played this? What do you mean? I was playing this before. Also, hello, Rodrigo. That'd be the case. What about if there's no winner? Like if all club members drop out midway through? Ha! 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 Kichan, are you alright in the head? What? Nande? The look in Myun's eyes became that of a lion burying its fang and then burying its child. How exactly are the elite members of this club going to lose some mewling newborns? Kichan, don't embarrass me by getting eliminated in the first round. Don't know why she's talking like an evil genius. Minecraft anime mod, I can tolerate, but this, nope. Rodrigo, no, don't leave me. There's like 6 more chapters to this. This is just chapter 2. No. Ugh, why am I? Ugh. This is what I get for playing anime games. My organs are strangling themselves. Even so, I do not feel threatened. More into an opponent. Into it, my opponent was, the stronger I would become. You just wait and see. I won't just sit here and be bullied by you, Myun. I'll show you. We shall see. Meet in the finals. I would strangle myself if I were your organs too. Come on, liver, don't you quit on me. Lungs, you keep going. Heart, you're the new liver. Start processing that alcohol. The results of the draw were enough to make me cry conspiracy. All the members of the club were nicely divided up against the 5 tables. How did this happen? And the draw was that random. The thought that I had already caught in Myun's puppet strings made me feel uneasy. Clever woman. Deceitful woman. That was fine. I'll crush all your pretty tricks. I will not lose. Now, where were my opponents? Go to horny. But there's not even horny in here. It's a murder mystery. No. Competition at my table with these two, huh? They look younger than me. Fools. Mere children in comparison to my skill and level. Aren't you 2 classmates of mine? Oh, hi. I'm Tomita. Stupid name. This is Okima. Also stupid name. Murder mystery with this music? Okay, go to my YouTube channel, alright, in the archives, and go look up the other episodes. Trust me, it is murder mystery. This is just chapter 2. Akuma-kan greetings me by nodding his head. What? No, so my opening round was to be against my juniors from school. Just saying, but it seemed like a pretty easy matchup. Lucky. Time to destroy them without mercy. Alright then. Everybody, please decide on your game and start. With Myun's declaration, the inside of the store suddenly became alive. Everyone was yelling their favorite games at each other, trying to gain an advantage. Murder mystery, but we were running low on downloads, so we added anime before they started. Okay, just hold off. Judge me not until we actually get to more. The first of the chapters are usually slower. As soon as the signal was given. And then again, I have no idea how many chapters are in this one. Like, so there's main chapters. This is chapter 2. Each chapter has about like 12 chapters. It took me, so for chapter 1, it took me about, I'd say 8 streams of 2 hours long each, sometimes 3 hours, to beat it. So, yeah, this one might take a bit, now I think about it. No suggestion, okay. Even my 2 classmates, who seemed, tactic turns, at first glance, began to fiercely insist on their own games as soon as the signal was given. Of course, I would kick those suggestions aside. There was absolutely no reason to pick a game your opponent was good at. Sorry, they're all games I don't know. Could you pick something a little more well-known? Of course, they didn't agree to the games I suggested either. I could only smirk bitterly. Naturally, after 5 minutes, this table still couldn't agree on a game. Obeying the rules, we asked the store owner to decide on a game. Clearing his throat, the shop owner brought over a board game from the back of the store. It was a game called Billionaire. Oh, dubious, I've got this in the bag. Quite the vintage we have here, my fine gentlemen. Come to think of it, if we lose, I'm going back to my other accent. If we lose, you have a duty to buy this game. That darn shop owner. Oh, was he using this competition to get rid of all the games he couldn't sell? I know this one. You guys do too, right? Spin the wheel and head to the goal. Whoever has the most money, we liquidate our assets, is the winner. The two nodded in agreement, and we finally, the game was underway. At that time, I had already a feeling of impending crisis. I wouldn't realize why until the game progressed a bit. I have no idea what billiards is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Celebrate the birth of your child. Receive $5,000 from everybody. Sorry. Okay, I've built a bit of a lead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bonus. Receive $100,000 from the bank. What? The tables were turning in an instant. 1, 2, 3. Proceed to the corporate ladder course. Whoa, that's a good route. Why didn't I think of that? It seems like my only this music be like, oh no, someone died. Okay, in all honesty, it uses the same music. I'm not kidding you on that estimate. Wait until someone does die, and you'll see. It seems like only my piece was landing on the steady paces. It's been rigged. Hacks. I doubted. Check the dice. Still waited. I had doubts as to why Muon didn't bring out board games for the club activities, but that reason was laid to bear to me before my eyes. That's right. I had only realized it now. This game was completely based on luck. What can I possibly do to make sure I ended up in first place at the end? The ultimate outcome of this game was decided in a place beyond human hands. They are in the hands of a god now. The members doing, my eyes naturally wandered off to the other tables. Mira's table was... what? They weren't doing anything. Had they still not decided on a game? The naive idea existed and distracted me from my most frightening possibility. Miran was lounging about leisurely, holding some juice she bought from the vending machine outside in one hand. When our eyes met, she gave me a look of ease. It couldn't be. She'd already finished? What game was it? That easily? How? How did he die? Detective, he was crushed by anime thighs. If only. Unfortunately, the only crushing was done by my character, so... but skulls were crushed. They definitely were crushed. Check out the last episode for that. Yeah, very, very much crushed. Anyway, oh wow, that's gonna depress me a little. The TV show, when your parents walk in. Who's calling? Oh, right, that was like a reminder I said a week ago. It was probably too late to become concerned with this at this point. Only 5 minutes since we started, and her two opponents were already beyond recourse. They were sitting there, slumped over and disappointed. Dishonor upon their family, upon their cows. The horny place is calling. Well, not today. I ain't answering. I answer to no one. I'm already knee deep in the luck and games and anime thighs. I can't get out now. I've committed myself to the streamer anime life. Even though I did just get my associates, but that's just besides the point. They slumped over and disappointed, muttering to themselves, trying to figure out where they went wrong, where their life choices. They regret everything they've ever done in their life, but what they find no answer. Was there any reason for their defeat other than they sat on the same table as Muon? Then, what about Rina's table? The spectators were causing quite the commotion. It seemed like their game was Karuta? Karuta. The shop owner was apparently the one reading out the cards. Rina tended to dawdle along and space out a lot. Wouldn't she have a hard time with this game? Then I'll read it out. The dog gets tired on the walk. Boom! Slam! At At that time, the shop owner began sounding out the words, cards in question disappearing off the face of the table. No, the face of the earth. Impossible, where did it go? It was against Rena's cheek, she was rubbing it there. Shut cute. I'm taking it home. Looking at the card Rena was rubbing against her cheek, it was some anime-themed version of Karuta, with another cute Mo illustration decorating the cards. Basically, it was a picture of a pretty dog girl with slightly large chest. Oh, there you go, Rodrigo. Picture of a pretty dog girl with a only slightly, large chest painted in a half-in tears, and she was being pulled along on a chain. With those types of pictures, even I could play with a godlike speed. Of all people to play that game, it had to be Rena? It was entirely possible that her fingertips were on the verge of breaking the sound barrier. It's over. Rena smiled coolly, seeing no further reason to keep watching. She turned back. Even if Rena wins, it's still buy these cards. I'm taking them home, huh? After that, the second the cards started being read, bam! Bam! Sonic booms, the windows shattered, pedestrians were sprayed with shrapnel. Screams from women and children, the lamentations of the women and the children were heard throughout all of Japan. The same sounds echoed. Well then, how about Satoko? Oh, she was playing a rather orthodox game. Concentration. Judging from the distressed look on Satoko's face, it seemed that she was struggling somehow. Good, let the child suffer. One of the main characteristics of concentration is that the pace of the game speeds up as it goes on. As the number of cards to memorize decreases, it becomes easier to match several pairs in a row. It wouldn't be exaggeration to say that the first person to take over the flow of the match can run away as the winner. The cards still in play had decreased. If you memorize the cards that had been turned over before, you should have a good chance to sweep the table at this point. Tucker probably knew the positions of all the remaining cards. However, her turn came a little too late. If her opponent followed up, the match would be decided. Hojo, sorry, but I'm also aiming for the prize money. Don't hate me for this. This guy, did he have the location of the remaining cards memorized? Man, I need to make a hydration reminder. I haven't read in so long, so my voice is going to be destroyed by the end of this, and we're not even an hour in. Oh boy, here we go. He was completely certain of his victory. The tension on his face relaxed. It's over. I whispered that in a bored manner as I turned my attention back to my own game. I spun the wheel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What? No way. The Ace of Hearts should have been there! There was a commotion at Tsutoko's table as a shout rang out. The others too at my table turned around in surprise. Nani? Doko wa nani desu ka? And after all, I'm being such a weeb, but I'm also trying to practice my Japanese because I don't speak it enough, so prepared for me to say stuff, and also that was very wrong because I said, where is it? I didn't, after all, there wasn't anything to be surprised about. The onlookers were confounded, most of them certain that the Ace of Hearts should have been there. There's no way, I must be seeing things. It must have been because I was excited, so assured in his victory. Alas, I am a fool. So assured in his victory, the distress over his defeat ran deep. Oops. That's how it is. If his opponent was to took it, then the Ace of Hearts certainly would have been there. What a fool. Fool of a took! When you're up against a Toker, you can't let your guard down for a moment until the battle is over. Kichan-san, you still haven't finished your match? You have no sense for these things. With a refined tone of her voice reserved for only winner, Satoko called out to me. For the casual observer, it must have looked like she only eked out a victory. From my point of view, the Jedi were evil. From my point of view, however, she was the only playing around. The rules of winner and loser had already been decided. It was nothing more than child's play. The laughable part about it was that her opponent didn't know his role had already been assigned. Nice work there, setting up a farce of a trap with the Ace of Hearts. My opponent only walked into one of my traps. Even then, one was more than enough. Zuko was a trapper. Her true talent was to punt beavers in the year 1860. Whose true talent was never having one misfire. Setting off only one trap was more than enough. Ain't that cool? In fact, the other club members were winning one after another with their own brand of play, only added to my impatience at my own lack of progress. Oh right, how was Rika-chan doing? Wrong voice. How was your club's sly little fox doing? What the heck is that? Over in the corner, the mood of the table was decidedly different from the others. Oh, does the music change? What is going on here? You know that battery-powered fishing game? The one where the fish open and close their mouths as they rotate on the platform and you use magnet fishing rods to pick them up? That old thing? It seems they planned on competing by seeing who could catch the most fish, but it has become an atmosphere you could hardly call competitive. Wow, I caught one! Oh, you're so good. Rika-chan, you are good at this. Simp! Oh my, she caught another one. Impressive. Hate me. Really good at this. Wow. Pog champs, Rika-chan, do you have a Twitch? I knew that Rika-chan had already charmed her opponents, although this was the onlookers before the matches had even begun, but brilliantly played. That corner had become an informal meeting of Rika's Parade fan club. And now it picks back up. It's Rika-chan's total victory. Total victory. Rika-chan's good at fishing, isn't she? What Rika-chan is trolling for probably isn't fish. Hearing that, she glanced over my way briefly. This is my way of getting serious. That's what I heard. This is a masterful technique that only Rika is allowed. Only Rika can do. I can try it too. Maybe if I seduce Lady Luck, I'll be able to. And why do I have a cut on my finger? Where did that even come from? It's on my freaking thumb. Ow. This is a masterful technique. Yeah, a masterful technique. Mirabora-san, it's your turn. Oh, sorry. Guess it is. 1, 2. Fined for tax evasion. Pay $50,000. In contrast, my game, what an unseemly situation this was. Noticing the uneasiness creeping across my face, my companions came to see how I was doing. Ki-chan, could it be you're struggling? You're struggling? Akumura, right. Now, how much money do you have? Akuma, who was wrung lots of money out of the elite course, began to count through a stack of white $100,000 bills. About $98,000, I guess. How much money do you have, Tomoko-san? Oh, I have $880,000. I'm so close enough to turn this around. Those two, it looked like they were easily surpassed $1 million. Well, Ki-chan, how much do you have? Mien's tone of voice was grim from the get-go. Was her disappointment and disgust as the clap was... It can't be helped! There's no strategy involved other than spinning the wheel in this game. How am I supposed to cheat? Tell those two to close their eyes and count to 100 while I rig the wheel? You know there's no way I can do that. Rika-chan gently pet my head. She wasn't too happy. How pathetic. At one point I thought you'd be a worthy adversary. I've been utterly disillusioned. Yeesh, rings are mean. I'm just stupid game. It's a stupid game anyways, and I don't even... Jokes on them, I can't even afford this game when I lose. Don't give up, Ki-chan. There has to be some way to make a comeback. Do your best. I could just... kill them. Do your best, right? Till the end. Like I said. How am I supposed to make a comeback with this game relying entirely on luck? Right, Mune? Mune's face, however, was almost unbelievably indifferent. She was watching something completely unexciting. She then turned her back without saying a word. I blew it. Mune, don't you leave me. Don't you turn your back on me. It was a pathetic voice that irked even myself. I'm disappointed. Everyone was serious about this, but Ki-chan was the only one who wasn't. What do you mean by serious? Are you telling me to control the spinner through sheer force of will? How can I do that? If you were serious about it, you would have settled this game 10 seconds from when you started. Ninja, you don't have to get so angry. Wait. Mune, in a bad mood, cast me aside and disappeared into the depths of the shop. Maybe it was because it had become an awkward situation. But the spectators disappeared from around my table. Darn it, are you saying I'm not serious about this? Are you saying if I were serious, I would have settled this game for a chance at 10 seconds? Are you saying that I shouldn't be an artist? You sound like my parents. Serious? If I were serious, it was praying for my victory. They believed in me. Did I betray their expectations? But this is anime, the power of friendship. I can't lose. Wait, was it because I wasn't serious? Ugh. Should we continue the game? The two of them were timidly trying to resume play. I didn't respond to that. I flipped the table right then and there and began. I changed the rules of the game. I started to wail on them. They can't win if they're unconscious. I didn't respond to that table. Sunk into silence. Marukan, should I take that as mean you're giving up? Thinking I was forfeiting, started to announce the cancellation of the game. At that moment, I grabbed the owner by the throat, silencing him. The demon inside me let loose a howl and awakened. I get it now, Mune. What it means for me to be serious. I'll show you! Whap! Spinning technique, 12th form, shadow clone jutsu, other anime references, Zawildo, whatever else I'm doing with my hands right now. I clamped my hands on their shoulders, speaking in a low voice after pulling them closer. Tomoko-san, Akuma-san, let's make a deal. Let me win. The two of them, not immediately understanding what I had just said, or the meaning behind it, were momentarily confused. Hey Morima-san, no violence, let's settle this game properly! Pinching and bringing him in closer. Just listen to what I have to say. What is it you guys want? The 50,000 yen prize? Well, of course, winning that kind of money is once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Even supposing you win, what are you going to do with that money? How are you going to enjoy it? The two of them considered it briefly. Buy a new game or something. Snacks? Maybe some juice. Heh, that's petty. So petty. Are you guys stupid? And then how did you enjoy it if you were one Mirabara-san? Me? That's the point. Just shut up and listen what I have to say. We club members have a penalty game separate from the casual participants. If we lose, we have to obey a single command from the winner. From another point of view, the winner earns the prize of being able to order the other club members around. First of all, Tomoko-kun, you like Toku, right? Don't deny it, boy. Next, Akura-kun, you like Rika, right? Don't turn red. I drew the two of them red-faced and conscious of whether anybody else heard what I just said even closer. Lollies, mo, pretty girls. What men covet, what men dream about. It's like an unreachable Garden of Eden. Even then, you'd still aim for it, wouldn't you? That's because our passionate souls scream for more. That sensitive age where they couldn't see. Like girls that you like girls. Understanding that gave me the power. Tomoko-san, if I win, I'll mix it and be your little sister for a day. Psh, a red fountain spewed from both Tomoko-san's nostrils. Eliminated, he's on my side. Also, Akuma-kun, I'll put cat ears on Rika-chan and let you take her out for a walk on a leaf. Oh, what is wrong with these people? But victory at any cost, I guess. Rodrigo, call the police. You know which police to call. Oh no. His forehead. He died right then and there. He couldn't handle it. Don't be shy. Just pretend I forced you to go along with me. You two are simply simple sacrifices to Umbura Senpai's whims. You can pretend to be against it. I understand. I know everything that your heart desires. But I suddenly lowered the tone of my voice. My school life was very bleak. I know without my very body how foolish you would to waste such an important time in your lives. So to you, my juniors, I don't want you to live your lives like that. I want you to be better than me. Be honest with yourselves. Chase your dreams. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Fulfill them. I'll fulfill them for you. I will. It was at this moment the values of men bridged generations. Marbusa, did I ever have a mentor who ever spoke my mind for me so strongly? Never. There was no way. That's because in a man's lifetime, he'll only have 3 fateful encounters. That valuable first time was being experienced right this moment with these 2. Dang, this has actually got me pumped up. Let's go. It's fine then. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Game over! It was such an assertive declaration of the game's ending that everyone in the store turned and looked. It had been less than 3 minutes since I was on the verge of forfeit, and all the spectators certain of my loss. Kishun, what happened? Who won? It was my complete and utter victory. Ha ha. What did you say? Exactly how did you overcome this situation? There's no need to explain what happened. It was a gentleman's agreement. Right, guys? Yes, sir! Freaking. The 2 of them, stifling tears of gratitude, answered strongly from the bottom of their hearts. Exactly what kind of miracle occurred during those 3 minutes? The spectators all looked away from utter disadvantage. You did it! You did it, Kichun! Yay! The spectators were puzzled at how I was able so quickly to overcome that hopeless situation. That guy, is he able to control the spinners with his eyes or something? No, with my brain. It's a miracle. What the devilry is this? He's in cahoots with that! Myun, you know! There's no doubt he has some strange trick up his sleeves. Oh, you fool, you see I am wearing a tank top. No sleeves to hide under. I looked at the crowd, who couldn't help but be excited. Out of the corner of my eye, now fully awakened and in battle mode, I let out a devirous laugh. I need my liquids. So this is what it means for me to be serious. You're approaching me. You took your sweet time. Baring your fangs at each other, we laughed together in the most unsightly fashion. Growling. Beastly. With this, all the club members have cleared the first round then. Which means this time, is a match against everybody. A match. I've already decided what I'm going to buy with that prize money. That's only natural, right? Sakura and Rina smiled, sneered at each other. These guys. These boys. Do they really think they can win against Kichan Marbura when he gets serious? Myun, that was a mistake. You should have offered me advice just now. What a mewling newborn you are. You're a million light years too early to think you can win against me. Myun, light years are a measure of distance. Oh. She's embarrassed. Good. You now use the emotional attacks. What are we going to do, Myun-chan? Or how are the 5 of us going to face off? How? Well now, we have such splendid lineup. It would be a waste to rush things. Me is saying something complicated again? It couldn't be. Why, you? Min's hair flowed elegantly, almost like a cape, as she turned her back to the table, and just fucking left. As for today's contest, I, Club Penguin Myun Senazoki, will reserve judgment for now. The method and time are yet undecided. The more spectators, the better. It should be in front of everyone from Hiroshima and Okinawa. By then, we'll know the best way to finally settle things. Are you running away from this? This is too unfair even for you, Min-san. You newborn. Do you still not realize what has happened? A combative aura billowing out of Myun's body formed a barrier stopping Satoko's advance. We'll meet again. Prepare yourself for your inevitable defeat. With a shrill laugh, Miran left the store. After a moment of silence, the crowd erupted into cheers. Wonder whether they resumed the contest. Being serious. The other members did great too. That new guy, Marabura, he's got some strange power. I have the power. He turned the tables in an instant. Marabura-san? Yes, my fan club has arrived. You've got to win, yeah! I'll dunk someone like Miran's head first into the river Styx for you. Holy cow, they'll literally kill for me now. Good, good. Oh, what are you talking about? I won. I am doing good, alright? You missed it. I pulled a what is it called? Big brain move, alright? I won that fair and square with clever negotiations on my part. A part of the crowd that had apparently overheard the conversation between Tomoko-san, Obikuna, and myself erupted into cheers again. Miran's going to win anyways. She's the undefeated empress. I'm betting on Miran. No, it's going to be Rina with that ungodly speed. The trap artist. Trap. Yeah, the siren. It may be a long shot, but it'll be Marabura's. However, right now I had no ear for those cheerful voices. Setting the stages for this huge match and then running away like that? I wasn't going to forgive Miran. Let me turn into King from Clash Royale. Okay? Am I missing a joke here? Outside of the store, Miran was getting on her bike as the shop owner was seeing her off. Don't run away, Miran. If you're the club president, don't run. Fight me! Fight me! Oh, sorry, Ki-chan. Right now, I've got to get to my part-time job. What's it called? Boku wa arubaito o ikumasu. I have to go to my part-time job. Is what I think I said. Actually, that's... I want to actually try to read this sentence in Japanese. I want to practice. Sumimasen. Watashi wa... Ki-chan... Sumimasen, Ki-chan-san. Watashi wa ima wa arubaito no ikumasu. Ikimasu. Iku? No. Iku? Iki? Iku. I think it depends on if it's past tense. Ikimasu? Ikimasen. Ikimasu. Anyways, yeah, so that's how you'd say that. My leg, huh? Like you would see in a sketch comedy show. My legs slipped in the opposite directions until I was doing the splits. Just... kill me now! Kill me! Yeah. While you were playing our game, Mian-chan received a phone call. It's too bad. It was just getting good too. No, not our lucky day. They're getting crushed at the sale over at my uncle's store. They don't have enough people to work for the register, so they call for me to help. When you say your uncle, does he manage a supermarket or something? It's just some small store. You don't forget about it. You don't need to know much. Also, how are you doing today, Pathfinder? I didn't ask that as I usually do. Small store, but we do sell quite the wares, if you have the gold. Whenever you put stuff on special, all the housewives swarm in like locusts. Don't they have any common sense? Even though they don't have enough staff, they're selling a carton of eggs for 10 yen. Limit 1 per customer. Holy cow. It's like, what, 10 cents? In like, US? In a carton? Holy cow. I should move to Japan. I was a little surprised. You would never think that this was the club president executing such a dark aura inside the store just a short time ago. It was the usual Mion right now, almost exasperately so. My shoulders slumped. That's right. Club mode was now over. But it was really heated today. It really was fun. Darn Mion, she really knows how to fire people up. Me too. I got so fired up in my head, started to tingle. I think you should probably see a doctor about that. Especially Ki-chan. That was scary. I thought he was going to eat me alive there. It's work, so I guess there's nothing you can do, but it is too bad. Oh, I really want to continue this some other time. Any time is good. How about we do it at the Watanashi Festival? Cotton Drifting 5 Demon Firefight. That's right. I'll think about it. Right now, what were Rika-chan and Mion talking about? Watanashi Festival? Cotton Drifting 5 some I skipped it, I bet. Oh no, more anime goil. Yes. More anime goils. Best goil. Ahaha. I love it when things turn out all over the top and manga-like. It'd be nice if we could have another thrilling club activity like this soon. She laughed with a smile that made you feel refreshed just looking at it. Refreshing. At that moment, I will commit emo kid. No, don't commit the emo kid. Once you emo, you can't go back. At that moment, the shop owner came out carrying a paper bag. I wonder what it is. Is he giving it to us? Thank you, everybody, for today. Thanks to you, the event went really well. But here's a little something for you guys. Hey, Uncle Yoshio. Isn't there a little something for me too? You probably shouldn't hang out with her, though. That's not good for your health. We're not playing Doki Doki Literature Club here. We're playing Higurashi no Kore ni. Hey, Uncle, wait, she has two uncles? My. Quite an adorable one, is it not? When Sakura and Rika-chan opened up the bag, there was a cute little stuffed animal inside. Just one? We're gonna have to fight over it? I will play Russian roulette with a full barrel. I'll take those odds. Deal me in, buddy. I don't know if you were present for the D&D session last night, but I was playing like a luck character. I was racking in the luck last night. No joke. Like, I was even a gunslinger too. I was just freaking four-shotting pistols. It was amazing. Well, they're so cute. Can I take it home? I really can, which means there's something for me too. Oh, I got a pretty adorable one. Ooh, well, speaking of D&D, this is what I get for staying up till 1 a.m. doing. Oh, I got a pretty adorable one. It was a stuffed toy wearing a beautiful dress, one you'd use to play a house. Rina's eyes were glued to my stuffed doll. You have a 0.01% chance of missing. You missed. Well, fiddly sticks. I don't miss. Rina's eyes were glued to my stuffed doll. Was the same and Rika-chan too? Ha ha ha! Rika-chan got the one that fits him the least. How do I say this? I could say it's pretty or cute? Well, I guess it's cute and pretty, I can admit, and it's adorable. I'm adorable. But a doll with a changeable clothes is if you walk around with it, then you'd better be treated like a weirdo starting tomorrow. Definitely. Myun didn't have to go that far. This wasn't something a guy like me should be carrying around. Myun was the only one who wasn't receiving a present, so I thought about giving it to her. However, after briefly considering it, I gave it to Rina instead. I threw and I missed. I double shoot. I missed. I play again and I missed. And this kept going for several. I fired and I missed and I missed again. I fired, reload, missed again. I love that game. Just going bit. Ran out of bullets. Got sad. Had myself a popsicle. Passed out in the snow. Woke up. I reloaded. I fired and I missed. I fired. I hit something. It wasn't what I was aiming for, so I guess I missed. Had another popsicle. Passed out again. I woke up. Had a popsicle stick in my mouth. Woke up. Packed a snowball into my gun. That's my secret weapon. And I fired and I missed. I had a dream I was firing at something. I missed. And now I really want to watch that clip. Yun was the only one who hadn't received. However, after briefly considering it, I give it to Rina instead. Simp! Huh? You're giving it to me? To Rina? Which is my name? Thank you. Just protecting myself. If I didn't give it to Rina, then walking the streets at night would be scary. She might mug me. No doubt. I fire, I miss, I sleep, I fire, I got a headshot. I woke up, I missed. Fired and I missed again, I fired and I missed. No doubt, no doubt. I thought about giving it to Murin, but it just didn't feel right, no? You know it. I sometimes wonder why I wasn't born a boy. It's better that you're a girl. If you were a boy, I would have killed you already. Holy cow, I would have killed you. You should kill me while you still can. Oh wow, if you don't, Kishon, you might not live to regret it. Hahaha. Murin laughed after saying such an ominous line. Wizard dies of D4 missing damage. A D14 of missing damage? It's a thing. He laughed heartily along with her. Ask God to make you a boy in your next life. I'll also have him make me a boy. Then together, two of us will start with taking over a country as a warm-up. Murin-chan, if you don't get going soon, the shop owner told her meekly. A lot of us looked like we were having a lot of fun, so it must have been hard to put a wet blanket on things. It was easy for me to throw it on Sucker-chan, just grab a weapon. Oh! Later then. Today was really fun. I'll see you later, guys. Tomorrow at school. Bye. Don't be late for work. Everyone waved their hands and watched as Murin left. Before I knew it, sun was already setting. Breeze carried in. A hint chill. The smell of chili. Alright, I read that's chili. Should we play for a bit more in town? Or should we go home? It won't get scary when it's dark. Then I guess it's time to leave. We certainly caused a ruckus today. We sure did, okay. FBI, open up! Knocks on the door, misses the door. Dies of embarrassment. We sure did, okay, let's go home. The wind blew gently. It was cooled down. I knocked and I missed. I reached for the doorbell, missed again. At this point, I started to panic in my head. I had no other choice but to breach the door with C4. Little did I know, this was all. My shift had ended 12 hours ago, and this was my house. Little Timmy was right behind the door when those hinges blew. Flushed with enthusiasm. Now, the wind blew gently as it was cooled down for those of us flushed with enthusiasm. I placed C4, and I dropped the C4. It landed on a skateboard. It rolled down the street. Still know where it is. I still have the trigger. At any moment, I can set that skateboard off. I fear that one day it's gonna roll on the back. Like a Campbell's soup commercial, it's gonna roll its way back here. One day that C4 will find me. It'll come rolling up this street right here. Seeing it, I'm gonna pull out the trigger. And as I try to activate the trigger, I'm going to miss. And I'm gonna drop the trigger and it's gonna hit the ground. I call 911, but I miss. And I call the Soviet Union. I call Putin directly. I start World War III by accident. I try to write an apology letter to Vladimir Putin. But I messed up the address, so I guess my letter missed. Well, the road back here was long, but I didn't really mind. Oh, that's right. Rina-san, you achieved an overwhelming victory, didn't you? When Rina gets like that, I'm sorry to say, but there's no winning against her. I paid my taxes, but I missed. The IRS is now after me for tax fraud. They sent a bounty hunter after me, but he missed. I guess it affects my missing affects other people as well. You take me to prison. I'm putting on my prison clothes. I try to stick my hand through the prison jumpsuit. I miss, and I clock the guard in the cheek. He's out cold. I escape. I escape prison and make my way back to my wife. We embrace each other and decide to get intimate. I miss. I miss. Me and my brother no longer talk to each other. They knocked my door. I tried to open it, but I kissed and opened the fridge. While at the fridge, I try to have a sandwich. I miss, and I f the sandwich. Missed, bruh. I kissed it. He opens the door, kisses whoever's at the door, closes the door, opens the fridge. I actually missed the word missed. Make a joke about missing, so I misspelled kiss, so I guess I missed. I am so gonna freaking clip all this, holy cow. Missed. I went for a sip of water. It dripped, so it missed. I flooded my entire apartment. There's no winning against her. I'm crying. It was because the cards were so cute. See, I bought them all 436 packs. Rika was the same as usual. But Rika was the same as usual. When it comes to boys, it's like taking candy from a baby. Simps. It was an easy win. I killed someone, but I missed and shot myself. It was good life, but I missed. I'm going to the afterlife. I lived a good life, but I missed heaven and I went straight to what was it? I went straight to purgatory. I missed heaven and I ended up in purgatory. No, I missed heaven and I went somewhere else. Bolivia. My family missed me. Oh god. But the one thing I didn't miss my wife. It was an easy win. How much was calculated and how much was natural? I get scared when I think about how Rika will turn out in the future. Manipulative woman. Sakura-chan was amazing too. Was it ended? Was it really exciting? It wasn't the sort of game where I should be compliant. Oh. I rage quit and I missed and won the game. Oh, and you made me lose the game by saying the game. Jerk, I was on like 6 months on that point. The game. I rage quit. I rage quit Elden Rings. I tried to quit, but I ended up speed running. I got a world record. So I guess I missed. Kichan, you also showed your fangs at the end there. Well, I guess. I'm the type of guy who's the strongest when he's cornered. I go feral. Tonga-san and the others seem to be cheering on. Oh, Tonga-san and the others seem to be cheering you on really hard. What was that about? He made some sort of promise with Tomika and Arkamura-san. It's probably a secret. A secret? Ooh. Oh, I wonder what it is, I wonder. Sometimes for a man, there are times we can only understand another by fighting. Ha ha ha. Desperately laughing, I frantically tried to avoid the subject. I threw my controller, but I missed and I threw myself. Just like you're playing Elden Ring and you get like so like you're furious that you're stupid. Like, I'm stupid. Stupid controller. Get me. I'm back. Let's see. Well, we do full body for a bit. I don't really like do like show this much, so. And besides, this is like a big blink area, anyways. After that, everybody continued to praise each other for they defeated their opponents and reflect on how fun today was. Everybody, look! The sunset! It's beautiful! Satsuka's getting even more excited, waiting where her finger indicated was an immense sunset, casting even longer shadows of us on our bikes. I use the soap in prison, but I miss. The guy behind me tries, but he misses. I was about to say, like, but he doesn't miss. Oh gosh. But he misses. Wouldn't do is a messy ordeal of body soap and misses. The cries of the Higurashi were gentle, very comfortable. Alright, that's chapter 1 of chapter 2, if that's not the most convoluted thing they could have made. I started a relationship, but I missed her. We've received a new tip. Who's Miran's uncle? You all tips? Blink, 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 blink. Who is your uncle? Who is he? What is he hiding? Yep. Sorry, I suddenly got called to my part-time job at my uncle's shop today. What's that? No club today, then? Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Then put her hands together in apology and grin. If you really want to do a club today, then you can always do it without this old man. The club locker is stuffed full with games. You can pick whatever. But no, I will still defeat you. Club locker was the trans-dimensional space in which men pulled games whenever we met for club activity. I wondered how so many freaking games could be stored in that locker. It was even smaller than the one with the cleaning supplies in it. I pick one game, but I miss. Instead, I actually did my final exam. Besides, those games... I can't do my deep voice for too long. It was also a cornucopia of suspicious objects. Costumes for punishment games, I bet. If we lined them all up to the floor in order to sort them, they would definitely fill an entire classroom. No, we shouldn't. I get the feeling that if I mess around in the locker, everything inside will come tumbling down on me and kill me. But they might miss me. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe amateurs shouldn't meddle with this. Mion gave a hearty laugh, implying that the only one we could do so was the club president. Don't touch my stuff. Me, the teacher is looking for the key to the gym storeroom. Do you have any idea where it could be? Eh? Did I not return it to the teacher's lounge? Mion said, feeling about in her pockets. Judging by her expression, she must have planned on returning, but it was still in her pocket. I knew you had it, Mion-san. I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that you simply must have been the one who had it. I tried to look at a girl's skirt, but I missed, and now I'm making eye contact with my friends. Finally, a miss I don't regret. Oh, yeah. Sorry, you try to look at a skirt, but you fail so bad, you fall over, and you look up, and I imagine your friend's Scottish, right? But a full Scotsman, you're peeping under his kilt, with nothing more than what God has graced with him upon his mouth. I was right too, and I were both right. Satoko and I were both right. Giggling, Satoko and Rika-chan clapped their hands together in celebration of this epic defeat. As an epic Poggers Battle Royale, Chug Jug, Chicky Nuggies, Poggers, whatever people say here. Hey look, I'm actually the same size as them. I'm actually in the game now. Wizard dies of D4. That kind of damage you can never predict when it will come. You're annoying. And that is when Mutant beat up 2 children. Slap, clap. Oh, she's clapping them. Mutant and his elbows sucked her into their heads. Ow. Teacher. Oh, right. Have you two heard? Mutant has a part-time job, and that's why she's not coming to club activity. Oh, is that so? That's a really very droll of her. Me. The two of them made disappointed faces. Whatever anyone said, Myun's club was always the #1 thing I looked forward to when going to school. It wasn't hard to agree with their melancholic expression, after hearing it wouldn't be happening today. So, Myun's got a part-time job, eh? I wonder what she's doing anyways. Whenever Myun canceled club, it was usually because of her job. However, it also didn't seem like she went there every day. She would go 2 or 3 days in a row, then not go at all for a while. I am struggling to read this. It sounded like a pretty darn random part-time job. She isn't working at any one shop or anything. She isn't? And does that mean she's a day laborer? Myun's wearing socks and a helmet, sweating to death in a factory? I can't imagine such a thing. Myun's son helped her uncle out whenever their employees got on vacation. She's still a handyman. Ah, I get it. Now that you mention it, her having a job at her uncle's place. I think I've heard about that before. She has a lot of uncles who run their own shops, so Mi is in a very high demand. She has a lot of uncles who own shops. Oh my god, that actually describes like my family a lot. I have like a lot of uncles who have like started their own businesses, and like no joke, like 3 of my brothers, well my 3 older brothers, have all worked for them. Who own Okay, I'm back. I tried to stream, but I... yeah, good time with that one. We can... Like, OBS is getting on my nerves. Like, for some reason now, it's literally just giving me an error where it's like, OBS couldn't read the video file. It's just like, I changed nothing now. Why are you doing this to me? There's no amount of rage that can be properly shown to OBS to show my pure anger. I didn't know that, but so there's all different kinds. I try to stream, but OBS misses. OBS starts recording, but it misses. Try to save it to a file, but I miss. Goes into the porn file. I mean my homework file. Yes. I didn't know that, blah 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 blah. There's a bakery, a produce market, a ramen shop, and many others besides that. Mercenary work? That toy store we went to for a club the other day is one of them. How many uncles? Holy cow. There's a produce market, ramen shop, and others besides the toy store. I guess it could be on both parent sides. The day is one of them. I was dumbfounded. That's amazing. Soid. Amaji. Oh, what's the word? Segoe. In Myun's family, blessed with some kind of crazy business sense. Oh, is. It's different things. It's kind of amazing. There are others like loan sharks, a land shark, a strip club, and brothel. Alright, I know where we're going. We go get a loan, of course. Okay, a couple of weird things came up that time, but still. I miss and I missed. It's a double miss, which means I hit, but since I don't hit, I missed. It's an endless loop of missing. The bullet just goes around in a circle forever. A couple of weird things came up the last time, but still. I could tell it was pretty expensive. So the reason she's so fussy about returning money to be lent out is because the blood of the loan shark runs through her veins, huh? That explains that. Once I completely forgot to pay Myun back for my money he gave me to school for going shopping. She broke my knees and she threatened me, saying that if I didn't return it all, she'd throw me into the red light district, and that would be the end of me. Higurashi is being sold into the entertainment industry to pay off her debt. What the f? I shoot bullets starting in orbit, the target, and I missed. See, I shoot, bullet starts orbiting the target, and I missed. It just keeps going around them forever. Dying by being thrown on the ground must be the silliest form of death I've ever heard of. Huh? She doesn't really get it, does she? Recently, she seemed so unspoiled. Good-chan and I gave her a pat on the head. There, you poor child. Never borrow money again. Oh, why are you petting me? We're petting you because you're a good girl, Satoku. She was lost in confusion. She seemed to understand she was being made fun of. Blink, 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 blink. I kill someone with a pillow. I miss, and now I'm sleeping besides them. Say. So we only have 30 minutes left. Keep going? Yeah, keep going. I wonder why afternoons always make me feel so sleepy like that. Besides, I want to get through these first chapters as soon as possible. Get to the good part of the story. Yun spoke in a voice that went so far as to make whoever heard it lethargic. You want a medical explanation for sleepiness? I could say it, but it's just make you more sleepy. Ugh, spare me. I'm tired. It was almost 3 o'clock, or Sunji. 6th period was almost over. By the way, the Sotaka and everyone else in the lower grades have ended their school days at the 5th period, though they were probably running through the schoolyard right now. I try to make normal sounds, but I miss. I sound like the Higurashis. You could hear their joy-filled voices coming from the right now. But what I would give to be able to join them. But alas, I am stuck in here with you people. Michan, you're the class representative, so you have to try harder. Not going to sleep. Not trying to sleep when you make me tired. You see, rather than the class representative, I'd rather be the president of the boxing club. They get to sleep a lot. Huh? What makes you think that? At the boxing gym, they're always hitting the sack, get it? That was good. I can't deny her that one. That was a solid pun. Chicho cackled as she hit the back of Mion's head, the corner of a textbook. That's all from me. I'll leave it at that for today. Representatives, please direct the class. Everybody stand up. I try to box, but I miss. I try to box. I miss, so I triangle. Everybody stands up at attention. Myun, who has been half asleep, became lively again the moment she heard class was over. It must be delightful to be that shrewd. Doobie doobie dooba doobie water water. Homeroom was done after the lower grade. You right now? Yep, I am definitely the embodiment of the yawning lizard. Homeroom was done after the lower grades had finished their lesson, so we were free to go. If it was one of those odd rules we had as a mixed grade school, when they knew class was over, Stuko and Rika-chan returned to their classroom. Good work today. Alright, it's time for happy, fun activities! Yeah, that's right. What should we do today? Hey, Michan. Why don't we continue what we started yesterday? Yes, we should do that. To have it end like that when things were getting good, I won't accept it. I try to make anime girl voice, but I missed, and I go deep manly for this little anime girl. There's no way I can do a little anime girl voice. Now, I know how you feel, but let's save that for another time. Something like that shouldn't be done somewhere dinky like in a classroom after school, but a grander stage. I'm down whenever, but some of the guys said they watched me in the finals. Let me know ahead of time. Wow! Kishan, you're amazing. Damn, right. We gingers together. I have something to do. Bye. Alright. Thanks for keeping me entertained. Good luck with whatever it is that you are doing. I tried to leave and I missed. But hey, just so you know, if you do exclamation point lurk, it counts that you still being here. So it helps me get affiliate more. I'd appreciate it. Whoa, Kichan-kun, you're amazing. There's people cheering you on, You got this, cheering you on. I wonder if there's anybody. Say what now? So if you do this, so there's a command. If you go like this, I'm gonna type it in. That sets you to lurking, and you can leave, but it still counts you as being a viewer. And since I'm trying to get affiliate, the more people who do that, the easier it'll be for me to get affiliate because it'll keep them counted as there. Yes, thank you. I appreciate the lurk. Because I'm so freaking close. I just want it by now. Bye, Rodrigo. Good luck with what you have to do. Take my yawns with you and spread them. Spread them amongst the populace. I will continue the story of the anime. At least try to. I couldn't help but watch as Rina entered her pinning maiden mode. I'm not gonna pull any punches, but I'll pray for your victory, Rina. The Supreme Kitchen brand smile. I ruffled Rina's hair roughly. What? I think I'm frying her brain with the static electricity coming from off her head. What are you? Rina turned bright and red and short-circuited smoke. I actually did short-circuit her. From her ears. Gazing into her eyes, a strange scene of me holding hands with Rina and skipping through flowered beds was reflected there. That's kind of horrifying. Is she a robot? Even if it was in somebody else's imagination. It was terribly troubling. So this... Are we just gonna ignore the fact that I just gazed into her very soul and saw something? Am I a god? Meet Kichan, the Rina killer. When Rika-chan said that, everybody burst out laughing at once. That Rina is a Satoku and Rika-chan killer though. It may be true that we can't win against Rina, but we won't lose to Kichan. Oh, this is becoming a pretty interesting relationship map. Our strengths kind of interact like in rock, paper, scissors. That doesn't include Miran, does it? Of course not. You heathens. It doesn't matter who it is, I won't lose. Miran leered with a gaze of befitting of a club president. No, befitting of an empress. May she live forever. The mood in the room became more lively. This is actually hurting my jaw talking because I'm jutting it forward. The mood became more lively. It was a good moment and ready to get started. Let's get started nice and easy. Yeah, so then, Michan, what shall we do today? Let's go today. Myeon let out a small interjection as she rummaged through the so-called club locker. Every time I looked, there was always a ton of things crammed in there. Everything that's jammed into the lockers is a game of some kind, you know? On top of that, things used for penalty games, like cat ears and collars, were kept in there. The captivity of that thing is unfathomable. The locker, maybe it actually extended through the wall into the 4th dimension. That's my theory anyways. No, 12th dimension, think bigger, Kichan. If not that, then how else could you explain how someone could pull out items after item? After Miran touched her hands on her chin briefly and thought, he turned around without pulling out any games. Why don't we try to keep it a bit simple today? Playing games that require lots of pieces all the time can be a little bland, you know? It doesn't matter what game it is, as everyone plays together, we can have fun. No, it is bland, because I dare say so. Yeah, that's right. Mina and I both expressed our agreement. I feel the same way. With this group, there is no doubt, even if we were pulling weeds from the school grounds, it would be fun. Like, no joke, I did landscaping with my best friend. it can seriously be fun. Like, if you have like the right people with you, anything can be fun. Maybe not anything. Well, yeah, anything. It just kind of depends on who your friend is. That wouldn't be fun for me. Pulling weeds out of whatever. And we got decently paid to. We got overtime constant. Ah, that's right, isn't it? By the way, Sadoko, could you stop reading people's minds by looking at their expressions? It's borderline horrifying. Whatever you're thinking is always written all over your face, so I always know right away. I've always been told that, but ever since I transferred in, it seems like it's been especially bad. I need to develop a poker face, or I could be in for a rough time. No, here's the thing. This is a trick I use, alright? If you want to get the best poker face ever, don't have a poker face. You're gonna lose your first game, but essentially, my strategy is like, I could pull up either like a king or a 1, and I'll still be grinning. And so people always see that as, oh, like it depends. Like if it is good, it's gonna mess you up. But if you don't have a good hand, then you're practically set. It's like people just see you as like, oh, he's too happy, he's too good. It's like so they'll back out, and then there's some people who try to call you bluff, but I don't know. Usually my poker face is me, just smiling, constantly. It works great. It works wonders. Okay, that being said, alright everybody, pay attention. Your Empress is speaking to you. I'm going to explain the rules. We are immediately cut to the idle chatter and put on stern expressions. In no time at all, everybody's gaze focused like a tiger or a shark or a tiger shark, listening intently. That's right. From this point where the rules are explained, the match had already begun. Today's game is probably better known as Party Game. It's called Sympathy. Has anybody heard of it before? Sympathy? Never heard of it. Sounds like mercy, sounds like a weakness. It means to share someone's feelings, right? Maybe I might know this? Mi-chan, maybe it's the game where we choose a topic and everyone writes down the first word that comes to mind, and the more people who share the same answer, the more points are awarded? In that case, Rina knows about it. Oh, that's actually a fun idea. I'll have to try that sometime. Oh, I remember. I recall playing a game like that in grade school while we were at the bus during a field trip. I am not familiar with this game. I would like an explanation. Explain yourself, human. First of all, we have the leader choose a topic. For example, if they choose dessert, Stuka-chan, when somebody says dessert, what's the first thing you think of? Let's see here. Pudding or something. Okay, in that case, Stuka, you would write down pudding on your memo pad. Then everybody reveals their answer at the same time. If there's 2 or more people who wrote down pudding, they get points. The more people who write down the same answer, the more points are awarded. So if everybody writes down the same answer, that's a max of 5 points. On the other hand, the trick is to think so that what you write down is the same answer as everybody else's. It was exactly as Rika-chan said. The point of this game was to think in a way that you have the same answer as everyone else. For example, even if you heard the word dessert and you immediately thought of strawberry sundaes like a loser, your answer doesn't match up with everyone else's and you don't get any points. That's why you have to hold off on that answer and change to one that seems like one everybody else will choose. Key becoming not what you think yourself, being able to predict what everyone else will answer. It's a very high-level intellectual game. For Satoku's sake, let's try practicing for one round. Okay, for this round, seeing as I'm club president, the leader will be me, alright? Topic can be something random. Taking out her literature textbook, she began flipping through a random page. Alright then, this is the only practice round. The first topic is shaved ice, blue. Hahaha. When you say shaved ice, there's only one answer, isn't there? Among the standard flavors of shaved ice, there's strawberry, melon, and blue Hawaii. Haha. The most popular amongst those is obvious, melon. Melon? No, blue all the way! Everyone write down an answer. If they all don't say blue, I'm quitting this game. And everybody show theirs at the same time. Ready? Go. Strawberry, melon, ujikititoki. Strawberry. What? I'm the only one with the melon? If you went with blue? You guys, don't be doing something so mundane as picking strawberry as the standard. Wait a minute. Would you actually order a strawberry shaved ice? The first thing that always sells out of the first is always melon, isn't it? Reno also likes melon flavor, but really, it's all about the strawberry, right? It's about that blueberry. I would actually choose melon, but you see, this is a word association game. If somebody says shaved ice, the first thing you think of is strawberry. No, I think blue. I'm still not entirely convinced, but in any case, it's this type of... Besides, I used to think strawberry, it's usually cherry for red. Wait, what exactly did you write? Is that a type of shaved ice? It's Ujikinakuto. Yuji Intoki. It's incredibly delicious, you know. Well, it might be delicious, sure, but it's not exactly run of the mill. Still, that's a pretty refined choice. She is a lady of etiquette, I can tell. Totoko, did this help you get a good idea? There were 3 people who wrote down strawberry, so those people get 3 points. We compete to see who can get the most. Yeah, I've got it, Chief. More importantly, Mia-san, what shall we do about today's penalty game? There's going to be one after all? What will it be? What should it be? John, you have a suggestion? What? For the penalty game? When I was in elementary school, there was a penalty game, yeah. It can only be that. Schlepping? In other words, the thing where the loser has to carry around everybody else's baggage. It happens often to the boys, elementary school kids, walking around completely covered in backpacks. You see it a lot. I saw that. That'd be kind of funny to see, though. But how will we do that? Sadako-chan and Rika-chan's houses are the complete opposite direction from ours. Then how about the loser carries just the winner's stuff to their house? Getting everybody's stuff to their house would involve covering a pretty sizable distance. Oh, yeah, unless we all have a slumber party. Then we all go to the same place. That much might be alright. Somehow, today's penalty game is pretty simple. The penalty game of this level would be fun to make Kichan do it. Then shall we raise the stakes a bit? What the? Game is pretty simple. Then shall we raise the stakes a bit? Not just plain porter. Ta-da! How about we have someone schlep stuff around dressed in this? What? Why, a maid outfit of all things. Also, if you guys want to see maid outfit dander, get me affiliate, because I have it in design. I get affiliate, you get maid outfit redeem. This is what I offer. Maid outfit. Huh. It's cute but no way. Yes way. Yes. But you see, what do we do if Kichan loses? If we don't have a size that fits him, just ripped out of it, just oh no. Oh, I didn't let that detail get by. I have a nice XL size one prepared just for Kichan. So Kichan, are you ready? I'm going to have you walk around outside dressed up as a maid. From the headband to the garter belt, even the underwear, I've got it all prepared for you. This is insane. Why do you have every possible size? That type of thing is that locker. This is bad, Kichan Marabura. Somehow it's become a situation where not only my failure results in overly cruel price to pay, what if it makes a mistake and lose? What if I make a mistake and lose? I wouldn't be able to walk around in broad daylight anymore. Threat. Ah, ma'am, about the Marabura boy. Did you hear about him? seems like he has a penchant for cross-dressing. Oh my, really? That's so embarrassing, you know. Oh. The gossip of the town, of the local Karens. Yeah! Whatever. Yeah! That's way too harsh. That's just incredibly brutal. If we're to return this penalty, semblance of normalcy, now is their only time. Yeah, I wouldn't walk around in broad daylight anymore. Okay, good time. Wait, I think we should refrain from. That's just incredible brutal. Time of penalty, semblance of normal. Everybody, I think we should refrain from that unwholesome penalty game. Why on the back way from school? Wait. That have to be accomplished by our girl wearing a maid uniform and carrying our baggage? Having them say, Master, while dragging them around the village in such an embarrassing outfit? Wait, my panties. What is this? This feeling welling up inside of me. That's called motivation, Maribora. Kichan. Hey, let's just make a normal penalty game. No, I've changed my mind. Wait, Kichan, that's frozen stiff. Phew. Bursting with passion, I firmly place my hands on Rina's shoulders. Rina, there is no problem with the penalty game. I just have to win. That's right, everybody. I turned to everybody with an idiotic grin, my pearly whites flashing with my brilliant gleam. This is a man right here. Oh, Kichan, you've come around to the idea, eh? No matter what the penalty game is, there's no reason to be afraid. You just have to win, right, everybody? I'm out of water. Yeah. From Yonrika, everybody energetically thrust their fists up into the air. Gambate! Only Rina seemed somewhat undecided, sitting there looking flustered. She's a little bit slow, isn't she? If she wins, even Rina is quite a delectable opportunity. Hey Rina, don't you see this as a pretty big opportunity? Kichan or Sakura-chan in a maid outfit coming right to your doorstep? This is a historically great chance, isn't it? Sploosh. Rina's. I don't want to know what splooshed. No, I definitely do not want to know. Began spouting a fountain of blood. Oh, her nose. Okay, that's what I thought. From her nose. The look in her eyes completely changed as she shifted into cute mode. I was waiting for this, Rina. That look in her eyes. Oh, to my doorstep? It's like Kyujin, Omiyachun, wouldn't be good too? She started panting heavier than Kichan. Like a silverback gorilla after doing a set of what was it? What's that called when you... Sets? After doing 20 sets of 200 pounds. Alrighty. It looks like everybody's prepared themselves. Get your memo pads ready. First question, ready? Mian opens up her textbook at a random page and reads out a word that caught her eye. The first topic is summer break. This is yet another quite abstract keyword. Well then, let's not worry about it too much and start with something simple. Okay, I'm going to participate in this. Summer break, beach. Everybody good? Time to show up. I'm saying beach. Ready, go. I'm seeing everyone simultaneously held up what they wrote. Let's see, what did everybody write? Summer festival, fireworks, mosquito coils. Arena, I have the same answer. Alright, 2 points. Matsuko's fireworks was pretty good too. Dang it, I didn't get any points either. Coil is a very nice, seasonable choice as well. Mosquito coil? All the choices are... Wait, hold on. So, 2 were the same. Then we had fireworks. And there's like a different festival, and then mosquito. Okay, I guess that's 5. All the choices are quite interesting. It's almost summer break, isn't it? Yeah, actually it is for me. I wonder how we'll spend it this year. Invigorating words that invoke the image of summer break. Certainly, things that enrich the soul. As everybody approaches the soon-to-come summer break, a plethora of dreams should be etched upon their thoughts. By the way, Kichan, what did you answer? Hurry up and show us. I didn't really write down anything great. No, showing us is part of the rules. Now come on. Ah, stop it. Don't look! What did he write? Homework. The room went silent. I said silent, you stupid bugs! Nobody could really follow up that response, as if my impertinent answer had somehow sullied the wonderful dreams of the coming of summer break. Kichan summer breaks were never fun, were they? Yeesh! We're to dig in there, it's alright. Let's spend the summer this year with everyone. We won't leave you by your lonesome. Chris gently patted my head. What exactly did summer break mean to me? Why did I just imagine like a meat cannon-esque video of this? Like Rika's hands just extend like across a table, because she's like a little kid. It's like, you just sit there and it just... There. You did your best. As it shrinks back. Meat cannon, get on that. Summer courses, observation sunflowers, practice exams, special summer focus seminars. I know nothing of hot summers because I've always been in air-conditioned cram schools. The tears, they... Kichan, summer breaks. She looks genuinely sad that I just said that summer breaks were always devoid of hopes and dreams one day. What? Don't look at me with such pity in your eyes. Don't look at me. This game called Sympathy may be more terrifying than I could have ever imagined. Well, anywho. Yes, very sad. Anyways, Rina and I get 2 points each. Let's keep going. Next is fish. So it's fish. Come to think about it, I haven't eaten sushi in a while. By the way, rather than lean tuna, I'm quite connoisseur on the like of flounder. I wonder how I'll match this with this answer. Okay, let's do it again. So, fish. So I think fishing for me. Fish, so we can go wet, water, river, ocean. Sushi's probably good. Maybe sushi. Let's go with sushi, yeah. Because for a Japanese person, anyone would think of this. Yeah, I'm bringing the mindset of the Japanese. Alright, everybody. This time we'll start with from mine. Ready, go. Sushi. How about that for an answer? When you see a lively fish, do you want to steam it or grill it? No, to have fresh sashimi is the epitome of cuisine. Rather than right sashimi, however, I'll choose the more ample term in sushi. That is my cunning ploy. But contrary to the interpreted resolve of my reply, everybody's expression was listless. Oh, that's right. When you say fish, I see. Sushi is tasty, isn't it? What? Stop talking to me in that condescending tone. Stop it. Well then, should the rest of us show our answers? Ready, go. Dolphin, whale, aquarium. Drat. They're using the 9th level intellects against me here. Rika and I have the same answer. That's 2 points. So, like, what's interesting about, like, this game is that, like, in, like, the other games in this game that happen, the games inside the games, you can't really participate. This is one I can technically participate in and give my own answer to. And I am losing. So this is what it's like, actually. Technically, if I lose this, I might have to put on a made-up. Oh no. And it does have a... No, I'll leave the secret out. There's a little secret to it. Rina picked a whale, and I thought about that too, but I ended up picking dolphin. Ah, really? Rina wanted to write dolphin at first, but Rina didn't think anybody else would write it. Rina's gonna talk in the third person. Either one of them was very cute. Everybody, excluding me, stopped and stared blankly as their thoughts drifted over the horizon. It seemed as if they can hear the roar of the open sea from over there. Whoosh, whoosh. This means everybody has 2 points. Well, everybody, but Ki-chan, son. Oh. Ki-chan-sun's answers were worth 0 points, but Reno thinks they were very unique and interesting. Now I think about how would you possibly make a comeback in this? Because if you fall behind, say if you fall behind someone, anytime you match with someone, both those people get the points, you and the other person, or whoever else gets it. So essentially, if someone is ahead of you and you keep matching with them, you'll never pass them. So immediately think of food when you hear the word fish. So you have to think, oh yeah, I'm hungry right now. But so you'd have to actually try to guess for something that someone else would go through and not a specific person or in general. Interesting. You shouldn't really be ashamed of how destitute your soul is. Ugh. Oh wow, doing the deep voice is really starting to strain those chords of mine. Don't say something like my soul is destitute! Besides, what's with Mion and Reno? When I get my own apartment, trust me, I'm gonna go full anime voice actor on this. I'll do every voice spot on. Especially I don't want to do roommates and stuff, and I have neighbors. Excuse. Answers and answers anyways aren't even fish. Those are mammals. Objection overruled. Next. But what is this word game? This is today. The game pile on and on. It seemed as if I will further exposed as petty human being. I'm the only one who still hasn't earned any points. Oh yeah, and if everyone earns a point, like if everyone thinks the same, that still puts everyone at the same ahead of you. So you literally can only win by playing the slow game and matching with someone who is lesser than you. If you are behind, you will never... If you actually know... Yeah, essentially, you will very unlikely win. I'm the only one who still hasn't had any points next round. Alright, chat, we got this. Alright, next topic is Sakura. Darn it. This time I'll do it. Keep your cool, Kijun, remember. Don't think about what you would normally think. Everybody else here is a girl. Stop thinking like a man. If you write down Sakura Mochi here, you'll only be repeating the tragedies of the past. Throw away the gastric male sensibility. Just for now, think of yourself as a girl. Woman, I am a woman. Woman, you are a girl. You are mighty, you are strong. Power yourself. Everybody finish writing. Let's do this. Yeah, I just have to make my guess. So, the word was Sakura. Isn't Sakura a city in Japan, or is it a type of food or plant? He says Sakura Mochi, but like, isn't there like a Sakura tree? So, I'm pretty sure it's also a name of someone, but I'm gonna go with tree. Sakura tree. Right, see, if you don't get sucking points, you won't be a bit dangerous. This time, it's perfect. I have completely suppressed my own instincts. This time, I will have a match. No, I will make it match. Kichan-kun, you seem pretty confident about this one. You see this time, I thought like a boy, so I could match up with your answer. Sakura Mochi. I like them too. I wrote it down. We could giggle together. You've been played, Kichan. Now it's not the time to think with your stomach. Well then, did Kichan write the same answer as me? I put down Hanami. That's right. When you say Sakura, it just has to be Hanami, yeah? I wrote that down too. Unit Sakura's response was Hanami. Hanami, seriously. What is Hanami? I do not know what Hanami is. That's the kind of event where old geezers get drunk and doing all sorts of What? Nani? What are the old people in Japan doing? Why are all the times did you just decide to abandon answering from a girl's point of view? Well then, Kichan, what sort of girly response did you write down? It's nothing. Let's move on to the next topic. Moving on. Before I knew it, Kichan had circled behind me and was intently reading the memo I had hidden behind my back. Card Master Sakura is written down here. Card Master? It became dead quiet. The abrupt silence enveloped the room. It would be fine if somebody at least laughed at me, or played off as something dumb, but nobody ever flinched. Even flinch, the feeling in the pit of my stomach reached critical mass, causing my once blood-drained face to flush with a sudden wave of heat. See, even flinch the thing. Okay, so I didn't skip the point. Sakura can only mean Card Master Sakura, can it? It's a super popular anime that's broadcast every week on the government-run networks. Is it? Is that a real anime? I'm gonna look that up. Is that a real one? How do we go with anime? I gotta see, is this a real anime? Just beaten to the beat. Okay. Well, it showed MasterCard. Oh, it popped up. Let's see. Oh, dang, yeah, this isn't like an old school one. 12 volumes. English publisher. So we got like maybe a reboot in 2017. There's Card Captors. Oh, maybe that's the name of the Card Captors Sakura manga anime news. Yeah, but it's old anime style. It's on Netflix apparently. Interesting. All right, government-run networks. It's broken through to every demographic from little girls to grown men. You've seen it, haven't you? No, you've definitely seen it. Even if I've seen it. Even I have seen it. Yeah, even without the forced explanation, I know about it. It's that thing where the girls fight in different costumes every week, right? Yeah, I know it. Yep. It's cute, isn't it? Mian looks pissed off. Sometimes browses through it on magazine strands and keep it with the story. I saw it for the first time recently. Sakura is cool and so cheerful all the time. I like the girl who's always filming with the camcorder. It's not just popular with little girls, it's also surprisingly well received by older boys, isn't it? Do you think Ki-chan was... Ki-chan was one of those? I felt like I was inadvertently blurted out something unnecessary and completely self-destructed, but that wasn't the main problem. So you all know it, don't you? Then why didn't you write it down? Sakura means Sakura Konomoto. Sakura-tan. Cardmaster Sakura is the right answer. This guy needs some serious help. Mian quietly puts her hands on my shoulder. Ki-chan, now I am certain, Ki-chan, you are, to your very core, a geezer. You're vocally so. Yeah! Why is everyone looking at me with those eyes filled with pity? That's not true, Ki-chan-kun, okay? Let's do our best. Here's where the comeback begins. You can do it, my little pog champ. The geezers. Now give up quietly and accept your Also, I was dead wrong too. I just said tree. But to go the anime route, man, what were you thinking? What was today's penalty game again? Dressing up as a maid, complete with garter belt, while carrying around the winner's stuff. No! Alright. If you're a real member of this club, show me you won't let anyone come back from this disadvantage, alright? Let's keep it rolling. Oh, my nose is so itchy. And we might have to leave it here for now. Heh. Heh. Huh. Well, Kichan seems happy. Why can't this be? Haha. He's probably awoken to the joys of crush. Ah, Kichan-kun, your hairband is going to fall off. Let me fix that for you. Mina cheerfully adjusted the headband. It had been enshrined upon my head. How does it feel, Kichan? Have you awoken to the pleasures of wearing girls' clothing in front of actual girls? Be honest now, it's alright. No, because that was what my VR chat accounts for. I mean nothing. We won't laugh. Grrr. You yerk. I'm gonna murder you. Swinging Moon's bag about wildly, I chased her in circles for a bit. Today's losers was quickly decided to be me. When I had been assured of finishing last, Mion showed her true power. She began racking up points with an iron fist. In the end, we didn't even have to add up the scores to know who was on top. After that, in the changing room with much wailing and gnashing of teeth. Ah, biblical quote, nice. Pushing the boundaries of shame and brutality, I was instructed by Mion on how to put everything from ribbons to underwear. Darn you, Mion. What do you mean, knowing this will come in handy one day? Oh, the bloody heck will a man know how to put a garter belt on be useful? Shh, Kichan. You're too loud. If you stay quiet, you might be able to pass this off as a rehearsal for a play. That's right. If I cause a scene here, they'll find out that I'm wearing women's clothing right now. To the unmentionables. I shuddered from my head to toe, resisting the urge to scream. Hold it in, man. Get through this. Actually, Kichan, you have really smooth skin. Why, thank you. Moisturize twice a day. Often told that it is easy to apply makeup on you. Saying that, Mion gently rubbed my cheeks. Oh, that kind of man gets praised for being easy to apply makeup on. Oh, really? My smooth skin? How does it feel wearing a maid's hairband? It really finishes off the look. The hairband is the best part of the maid outfit after all. What do you mean finishes off the look? Dame, stop teasing me. Kichan-kun is very cute. That's right. Men like garter belts, right? So does it feel wearing one yourself? I don't really feel anything. In fact, heart has stopped pumping. I can't. Can I move? No, I can't. No, nice. Let me go back here. Okay. You all didn't see that. Anyways, ahem. I didn't really say thanks. Stop it. Don't slip it up. Oh, it's tight, isn't it? I can feel it rub against your skin as you walk. So stop. Don't whisper such strange things in my ear. My miserable manhood subtly shift. You're turning red. You're turning red. Have you finally realized it? The pain, the suffering. That's right, Kichan. It's like the type of maid that every healthy male wants. Stop it, Mion. Really, why don't you have to whisper that in my ear? Have you ever just wanted to hold a maid close to you, Kichan? Really becoming one with that maid. Don't you see? Who needs a maid? You can be the maid. That's a distance far closer than mere touch can ever achieve. There can't you hear the pulse that's beneath the breath? Mimi-chan, that's here at the verge of overheating. A long red line flowed out of Rina's nose. Putting on makeup properly, making you wear a wig with the straight long hair you like so much. Kichan, I made you into your ideal woman. Yeah, now, darn right you have. I'm the only one fit for myself. Kichan, I've made you into your ideal woman, and now you're going to walk around town. You surely monopolize the eyes of all men. That would definitely make you feel really good, wouldn't it? You didn't have to be big thing dangling between your legs. You're a real girl. Okay, I can do that. I can take that compliment. Saying that, she tried to flip up my skirt. Oh, ya wee little pava tried to pip up my skill. Okay, now I'm getting flustered. Saying that, she tried to flip up my skirt. Wow, this is definitely not the time. I can let them see this male-centric problem. Now, you wanna express your confidence, let them do it. Just stand there, chest out, chin raised. Crash, thud. Before I realized it, Rina was caressing my head and rubbing me with her cheek. Kichan, when we were fidgeting like that, you're so cute. I am going to take you home. At least get married first. Laying a spread eagle on her back. Going through Rina's voice line embraced, I saw immediately. I see. This must be what Satoka and Rika-chan feel like when they become Rina's prey. After that, it took quite some time to calm Rina down from her frenzy. Later, Ki-chan. Today was super enjoyable. Hee hee hee. You will rue this day, Miran. This disgrace shall be returned tenfold. I will achieve an overwhelming victory that condemn you to a public shaming. Haha, only if you can beat me. I look forward to seeing you try. Mian tossed me my clothes and looked in. That was weird. Looked good as a mood as I've ever seen her left. Okay, now that I've been released by Miran, I can't waste even a second running home. We have to run like a girl though. Arms out, knees in. By the way, Rina isn't as good as Mian-chan, so if we happen to bump into anybody, I won't be able to follow up for you, okay? Soon after that, I went into a full-out dash. I'm pretty sure I was running the 100 meter in about 6 seconds. That is very impressive. My record was 12. And then I think the lowest I saw someone get was 8? Well then, Ki-chan-kun. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. The fact that I didn't bump into anybody I knew was probably a divine favor from the constant good behavior. That's right, stay on the God's good side, folks. It's been going my way today. At that moment, the front door opened as if someone was waiting for me. Oh, Ki-chan, so you're home. I was just about to go for a walk. I was dumbstruck by how slow my father was to react. A normal person would have realized the peculiar scene before them. Alright. Oh, Ki-chan. Dad. This is, you know that club I'm always talking about? This was one of the penalties games we do there, and it just so happened I lost today. My dad placed his hand on my shoulder. It was an oddly moist and uncomfortable warm hand. Why did I have to know this about my dad's hand? Ki-chan. Let's have a little talk in my studio. We'll keep it a secret from Mom, of course. No, Dad, let go. There's a show I want to watch right now. Miun, you shall rue this day. His artistic flame raging like a wildfire, my dad dragged me along. No, don't tell me. Disappeared to the depths of the studio. No. No, don't tell me. Is he gonna draw me? Draw me like one of your Frenchmen, Dad. Kitchen, are you home? Oh, you were in the bath. Is that makeup remover? Oh, more importantly, what's the matter? Sorry, I have a headache and don't think I can make dinner tonight. I'm terribly sorry, but I can go and eat with your dad. My mom is a go-get-em superwoman at work, but it occasionally takes a toll on her health. So this time of situation is hardly a rarity. That's fine, but what will you eat? It's just for myself. I can probably find a way to scrounge something together. Take care. Kichi, we'll take the car, so hurry up. Dad quickly got the car ready. He must be hungry. He really only moves so energetically when it comes time to eat. Sorry to keep you waiting. So where are we going to eat? I recently found a nice store. Let's go there. My dad usually only complains about things. For him to actually praise something is unexpected. I wonder what kind of place it is that he'd rank it 3 stars. And one who seeks that way of gourmet, I, Kichan Mabura, am genuinely intrigued. The headlights of the car cut through early darkness of the Hiramazama night, carving a straight path towards it down to town. I was pondering where such a gem of restaurants could be hidden away. It was shocking, the family restaurant, right in the station. Dad, that great restaurant you were talking about, what was it? The words Angel Mort were written very family restaurant, cartoon Cornish lure. I think I know what's gonna happen, and I'm gonna hold off on this reveal. I'm gonna stop right here. Rodrigo, you better be here with a certain phone call tomorrow, because we're gonna need a certain organization for what we're probably about to see. Now that being said, thank you everyone for stopping by, and thank you Rodrigo for dropping that lurk. It always helps keep those views up, and eventually we get enough, you guys can start earning points on the channel. I can actually start making, I think bits is how Twitch makes money, but I also do have the Ko-fi donation down in my bio, but that's like, hey, if you want to, great, super appreciate it, but like, by no means am I gonna, I just advertised it. By no means am I gonna actively advertise it besides this. So, just a little note. Anyways, I feel like a jerk for doing that. Oh well. Well, I'll be a jerk if it means I get money. I am a mercenary after all. Anyways, thanks again. See you guys later. I suck at intros, yada yada yada. Save the penguins or something, I don't know. Bye.